Hi, energy. Time to pull from alignment today and see what's all going on. I'm excited. I'm recording out in nature today. So I'm really looking forward to see what all comes through today. Um, on our wonderful Wednesday, we're wrapping up January. This is the final week of it, so I'm just excited to see what's all going on within the ethers. Um, and intelligence seem to be really important. The ethers and intelligence seem to be hand to hand. They're working together already. I noticed. Um, and something that keep coming to my mind. I was gonna actually tweet about it. Not tweet about it, guys. There's no Twitter no more. But text about it on Facebook. As into what does Black History Month mean to me? Because I was thinking of like, what do I want to do? I feel like just a different way to express it because I was like working out. They always think of like people of a darker shade to be so strong, honestly, and this is the aspect that I'm getting at for me. I have to think about it. That's why I didn't actually do it. I was just like, I'm just gonna project it in this way, and then maybe I might still text about it, maybe. Um, but what does Black History Month mean to me? And me personally, I always think about poverty and slavery, and poverty mainly because of slavery. A lot of discrimination and things like that, just because that's what history normally teaches us about Black history. I know there's a lot of great aspects that are considered Black history, but I don't even think it's a history aspect. It's just people of a darker shade have done great things, but I don't think it's in a history aspect metaphor because from a young age, that's not what they teach us. They normally let us know you were a slave and you were in poverty for the most part. That's just my perspective on what I think about it. Even the strong aspect, going to work out, even though I'm doing it for different reasons, it's just something that I was thinking about this morning as into they always think Black people or darker people or shades, definitely if you're a male, they expect for you to be nice and strong. That's part of like a slavery aspect. You get picked because you're so damn strong. That's not a bad thing, it's just thinking of a way to express it. Not wanting to be a stereotype of what I'm doing, if that makes sense, but just something I thought about, honestly, and I'm still thinking about it. I just want to project that because maybe it's something you need to think about. Like, what do Black History Month mean to you? Like, if you ask me, history always shows that, it was a lot of slavery. You were a slave. I hate to chuckle, Jesus, because it's not really funny. It's just it's an obvious aspect, not what have Black people have done, like what have they accomplished, what do history tell you about Black people is what I'm like stuck on and strategizing about, honestly, because another aspect that's been brought to my attention a lot is people have been asking me like, what is my mixture, like my ethnicity, like what am I mixed with, and I honestly do not know. That's another part of Black history, of not knowing what you are rooted to and from and things like that, which that's something I talked about because I honestly don't know my mixture. I don't know what I'm all mixed with. That's been getting brought to my attention a lot. I think like the last couple of days, multiple people have asked me, "What am I mixed with? What is my mixture?" You know, some people thought I wasn't even African. I mean, not African, but American. They was like, "You're not even American." I was like, "Shit, you might be right. I don't know. I wasn't close with my family structure like that to realize that part. We didn't talk about those type of things. So as an adult, I come off clueless because my hat don't fly away hat. Certain things didn't get talked about. It's intriguing when you realize you grew up in trauma. Oh, trauma form. Oh, cars don't fly away, honey. Oh, Jesus. Pardon me. I'm gonna pause this really quick. Okay, I got them. I'm gonna share the ones that flew away because they wanted me to go and chase them down, which was intriguing. Which is for the path, we got right view, and for the zodiacs, it was Sagittarius and Virgo, which is funny to me because that goes with your values, um, and a first responder aspect of the energy. These two. It's an arrow and it's headed right to a first responder, but it goes with your values, which that'd be second house. But Sagittarius to me also goes with the energy of Lady Luck, which that's always great, always in the right place at the right time. Um, so that's probably really, really important, those aspects coming out. I need my cards to be still for a minute so I can finish. Then we can let y'all have y'all moment. But um, what was I talking about? So, man, it's always about us. I give myself chuckles. It's just I need them to be still because those are aspects that I really wanted to project. I can't remember what I just was talking about. So, with that being said, we're gonna rock over to the 12 universal laws since we out in the universe territory at the moment, and the ether seem to be really, really important. In complements of intelligence, that's another thing when it goes to Black history. There is a lot of people of a darker shade that is an intelligent aspect. It's just something that history don't acknowledge, if that makes sense, which that's something that was brought to my attention. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Not knowing your mixture. What you all mix with your roots. That's what I was talking about. It goes, Jesus Christ, so much to talk about. But that's what I was talking about, though. The law of compensation, something coming back. That's funny. Even the way them cars just flew out, I have to go get it. It's your values. But brain is all over the place at the moment. Give me a minute. Just a lot of great people of a darker complexion is in the intelligence category. A lot of geniuses. It's just history don't acknowledge that. It's like it shows you like this, like a person of a darker complexion do this, and then it just get moved to the side. It's not like a history aspect, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That's just the way. That's my perspective on it, honestly. And it's not discredited, and I do great things all the time, and I'm one of the ones who just seem to get moved to the side. So I understand it. It's just, as I said, that's what I was thinking about. What does Black History Month mean to me, or what do Black history mean to me? Me, I always think of poverty and slavery. That's what I normally always think of, honestly. And that could be a stereotype because there's tons of different ethnicities, different shades of people who go through poverty too. They also deal with slavery and discrimination also. It's just, once again, this is my angle of perspective, honestly. And the law of divine oneness is right there. And the law of correspondence, the law of gender, the law of action, those are all in reverse. The law of gender is in reverse, the law of action is in reverse, and the law of correspondence is in reverse. The law of perpetual, the law of vibration, cause and effect, the law of relativity, the law of action, the law of attraction. All those in reverse. I need more cards. I figure out why that's all in reverse. Probably because something coming back. This law of compensation is really important with those cards being in reverse. And that's what I was saying. Even the way the cards have flew away, it's coming right back. That seemed to be really important. That's funny that displayed like that, honestly, because it's part of the actual energy. We're gonna see what zodiac is standing out today, really quick. I hear a train. Just love life. We're gonna see what zodiac is standing out today. Zodiac is standing out today. It's Virgo, darling. It's Virgo. It's a first responder. It's like we think of our police force aspect, first responder, somebody who's always first on the scene. I'm a first responder. I'm a tarot reader, energy reader. So first responder. It's just like how certain places get certain trends first. Like, how do you get that trend first? They're aware and they act on what they feel. It's not a suppressed energy. Oh, we got Aquarius, Leo, and Gemini. How lovely. Shout out to the sun today because the sun is on shine, shine, shine mode. A nice standout energy. And it's coming through the air. And you got two perspectives. That's two airs too. That's funny. This is two airs. This is balanced. It's your values. This is tennis. It's obvious. This is tennis. And it's the ruling planets Uranus and ruling planet Mercury. To us, it's the law of divine oneness for sure. How funny is that? That's really beautiful. Two airs and fire. It's the eternal side doing it. The spiritual guidance that's within you. It's like this is like a magnet energy. That's funny. That's in the right place at the right time. Just same way them cars blew away. It displayed something that was actually happening. Right place at the right time. It's perfect alignment. And is that Libra? Is that Libra? Is that Libra? Libra is balanced. And there go the first responder Virgo. Something all I want to say this is cause and effect, but the first responder was them cars flying away type of an energy. And then me actually pulling it out. I hope that makes sense. That's just so funny. And it's about your family structure. I self dealing with earth. Earth is really important. Might need to eat from earth, or you might run into another earth element of a person. It's really important because you're hitting different frequencies. Frequencies is really important. I want to say dimensions too. It's intriguing because where I'm out recording today, I decided to go close to the trees. And where I'm at, it's a lot of trees out here, and I actually got my phone sitting up on my real tree cup. And that seemed to be really important when you hit different frequencies. Because it's actually people. Trees are people. It's different structures. Something about that energy. And it's actually an earth energy too. Which goes right back to the Taurus aspect. Earth is really important. I keep wanting to say eat from earth, if that makes sense. Which that's like a duh, obvious, but like literally. Or it can actually be like an actual person. Like you meet me, I'm a Taurus. I'm earth based. Receive from me. That's eating from me. Is getting what you need, if that makes sense. It's that type of energy for sure. It's a magnetic aspect. And it's in the creativity or pleasure form. Light in the dark. It's solid. And it's your values. It's funny. It's your values. That's really nice to know, honestly. That's great. I want to see where the mind is at. As we on this path, even though this a right view did come out, but we're gonna still shuffle through. That's something I learned yesterday. I pulled cards. I wrote it down though. I did share it, but it was yesterday, day before yesterday. It came out in the past, present, and future, and Spirit brought more clarity to me after I had got done, as into the path that you're going on. If you're dealing with the past, that means you're going backwards. You're going to a backwards energy. Whatever you're dealing with within the present, it's that type of the energy. Which what was it? I think it was like I can't remember what it was at the moment. Don't get me the line, but whatever you're dealing with in the present moment, and then your future. It's all about where your focus was at on the path. Either you're going backwards you dealing with present situations or you're working with your future. Me, I'm dealing with my future, which I realize like, oh, right, effort is my future. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on effort. I was like, oh, I'm in my future energy. I'm not like even in the present moment. I'm not dwelling within the future. I mean, pardon me. I'm not dwelling. That's great to actually know. I'm not dwelling about my future, which that's great. That's great. But I'm actually thinking about the past. Is what I meant to say. I'm not dwelling or even worried about the past. Even though, intriguingly, within the moment, emotion is coming to me as into what is Black history to you? I see like a past energy, but not really, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. And excellence is coming to my mind. So, excellence, I think of excellence. Always getting things done. Always a first responder. Just seem not to get credit for it, if that makes sense. But get credit, but in like a bottom type of a form of credit. Right view came out again. Your mind is on the right view. It's funny. It came out double. Where would your mind be headed to? Where would your mind be headed to? Uh, got two more again. How funny, Jesus. That's funny. I'm going to read it this way, then I'm definitely going to read it in past, present, and future. You got right livelihood and right concentration. Your mind would be headed to right livelihood and right concentration. And it's funny because the right concentration go with the right view, which is where your mind is presently at. But if I read it in past, present, and future, your past was the right view, your present moment is right livelihood, and your future will be right concentration. And this is that same exact energy that I just was talking about. If you're dealing with your past, it was the right view. Whatever you're doing at the moment is right livelihood. Whatever you're doing at the moment is right livelihood. The future, moving forward, right concentration. That's so funny. I guess it came out. It keep happening again. That's that first responders energy. You say it and then that's funny. It's something I always say. Like I have my aunt taught me this aspect because I heard of it. I don't like to identify personally as a prophet. Honestly, I like to say I'm a motivator, speaker. I'm a map for. Um, but I always do project it, and then I use my tools to confirm it. And that's what's happening at the moment. It's that same energy. But it's so funny because my aunt said that she's like, "Oh, you're a prophet. You say it before you know it happens." I was like, "Ah, lovely." I never thought about it in that form of a way. I always think of myself as a motivator, speaker. I'm giving you what you need. But I guess that's the same as a prophet, giving you what you need. It's just people will steer away from that aspect just because most of the time they think prophets are fake. But it's just like, did anything that they say come into fruition? Did it ever come into fruition? Like, normally a prophecy always comes in events. It don't always happen like right within the moment. But did it ever, like many prophets that they said has come through, nothing that they ever said came into fruition? But normally it comes into fruition for sure. It's just like, why you question it then? Because it didn't happen the next day or at that moment. It happened though. And if it didn't, then you realized maybe that's another thing I talked about before. Because as I talked about before, when I was dealing with Jehovah Witnesses, they asked me like, what did I think about the prophets? Did I think that they were real? And it's just like, as I just said, did anything that they say ever come into fruition? You know, Speaking of a way to explain it, because it's like it might not have been for you. That's the thing. What they told you may not have been for you. It might be somebody else's, if that makes sense. Like you're waiting for something to come to fruition that ain't for you. That's why you think it's fake. You might be meant to be a person like me to translate what was given to you to somebody else, if that makes sense. People are selfish and greedy. I think everything is about them. You might have received something to tell somebody else. That's their prophecy, if that makes sense. It's like all these different religions and things like that. It's like it's somebody else's. It's not for you, if that makes sense. It's one of those type of energies. Um, we're gonna see what the messages spirit has though for us really quick. It's so funny because I got the way I got my cards laid out right now, and it's intriguing because I don't want them to fly away. But Sagittarius is still looking at me, which goes with values. And my box is up, and it's a heart space. Oh, I didn't do the houses yet in astrology, but the 12th house is sitting up, which goes with use your senses. And then the law of divine oneness is sitting up in top of the box. This is the bottom of the box, and it's a heart. And then in the box is the law of divine oneness. It's something that's so important about that. And I'm sure it goes with the Gemini energy and Aries energy, because we are in Aries season, which for me, it goes with a lot of mental health aspect, just because you're receiving airwaveably. Some people look at that as a bad thing. Like mental health, that's why I said I don't really like to project it in that way, because it always comes off like something bad. It's just, you are very aware. You are connected with the eternal side. It's just, as I always say, when you don't got a support team, side effects become intriguing, because people outlets people outlets don't always come to people's standards, if that makes sense. They might start drinking, they might start smoking, they might just, I don't know. People do all types of intriguing things when they are feeling misunderstood, if that makes sense. You gotta reflect on your truth. And that's the heart space too. That's funny. Face your shadow. Just going right back with the mental health. People are receiving right now. It's the tennis aspect. You're receiving like a meditation form. Like I'm sitting right now, which some people consider that meditation, like a Buddha form. And you receive, which I just talked about this too. I've been speaking on this a lot, just because nobody ever questioned that aspect. You just sit still and you receive all this information that you actually see display, but where are you receiving it from? But with a person is sitting there talking to a spirit, it's like, who you talking to? The same ones that the Buddha aspects be talking to. But they don't talk. They just sit there and listen. They just receive. But on another level, they actually talk to the guidance. That'd be the intriguing part to me, that nobody ever seen. They think it's a difference. That's what I'm getting at. They think it's different, but it's not different. It's just that saying, he know how to deal with his children. Some of them just need to receive. Some of them, we got a great bond. We can just talk all day. But it's all about this life journey of a purpose. What are you meant to learn for this life journey or purpose? If that makes sense. Maybe next lifetime you just gonna be sitting in Buddha form. This lifetime, oh, you talking to your communication. If that makes sense. Be distinctive. Yeah, you're talking to your guidance for extra sure. I actually met somebody the other day. I actually seen him yesterday too. I don't think he recognized me, but he was sitting there just talking and talking. And it's something I do. Like I have outbursts sometimes, and it's uncontrollable. Like it's not. It's like spirit just cut the switch on me, or spirit just hop right into me, or something, because it just happens. I just get it going. I've been quite balanced out lately, but it's not like something that's like, I just want to talk to my guidance right now, and I just start having outbursts. It just happens. But I met somebody yesterday, and he was sitting there talking to his guidance, and it seemed like they were right next to him, because he kept looking over to his side, like chugging and talking. I was like, oh my God, you are hella protected. And the funny thing about that aspect is he stopped and he acknowledged me back, which means he's very aware of what's happening. It's not like one of those illusions or something. Like he acknowledged, oh yeah, it's part of a mental health aspect. He knows exactly what he's doing, you know. And I thought that was so freaking great, because I was like, I do the same exact thing. I do the same exact thing. I talk to my guidance. It just was nice meeting the person who acknowledged back, like, yeah, I got guidance. It's part of a mental health aspect. Like, you're right. You're absolutely freaking right. And then I felt a little intriguing, because I actually wanted to join the doggone conversation, but it's like baby steps, ma'am, for me personally, because I don't ever want a person to feel uncomfortable in that type of a situation. That's why I was happy that he stopped his little conversation he was having. Like it was like an actual person. Like you see two people talking, and then you like, oh, you acknowledge whatever they talk about in their conversation. Like, oh, you hella protected, you know. And then they keep talking to their goddamn guidance, the person they actually with, but nobody was there. He just started back talking. It was amazing to me, honestly. It showed me the guidance was right there with him. I thought that was amazing. But something else I want to say, but I kind of forgot. But focus on success, which that's what I'm on right now. It's just thrive, thrive, thrive. It's just strategizing. I have to do a lot of strategizing because I want to do things a little different. Sometimes I go into a routine where it's like things start to blend. Like it's like a Drake song. Maybe think of a Drake song. Is anything I'm doing brand new? Like, is anything I'm doing brand new? Just trying something different. Honestly, I want to do things a little different if it's possible. I know it's possible. It's just when you're a creator, like as I am, I'm thinking of ways to do things, if that makes sense. So the moment strategizing is intriguing because Spirit decided to do this in the wintertime. You know, we dropped the top in the wintertime. You know, things are seem to be a little bit more difficult in the wintertime for extra short, you know, but I guess that's the part of doing things different and something about that is important. I want to see what house is closed in this energy today. You're dropping the top in the wintertime, man. That was a lot. It's a lot going on. We got communication. As I said, there's a lot of communication happening right now. And I can only imagine in how many different forms. Because sometimes I use fashion, sometimes I use like actual music, I use books, I use the weather, food you're eating, dance. There's so many ways that communication can happen, but it's a lot of it. And it's in a tennis form. It's back and forth communication. This reminds me of like an artist, like a person who's painting or something, like a Picasso aspect or something. You're receiving and you are painting it or drawing it down. It's happening within the moment. It's not like you receive something, then you wait. You're acting on it at the moment. And if you're receiving, you could be writing books right now or something like that. It's tennis. It's like being on the phone. They say something to you, you respond right back. I want to say texting, even though I did start writing a book, but it seemed like a phone. It's back to back. And as I said, we are in Aries season, which is air all day. And Gemini came out on top of that. And that's normally two different perspectives, but this seemed to be balanced. And Libra confirmed it when I looked down, like, oh, this is balanced. That's the intriguing part of this energy. Oh, don't blow away cards. Be still for a second. Okay. Then we got the 10th house. And this is either doing a service or a duty, but it's a balance. Whatever you're doing, whatever the eternal side is having you do, it's either a service or a duty. And I say, I look at that again. Because the duty is coming off just like your spiritual guidance. I think that's why the values aspect came out. Because what is your values? It goes with the duty. The duty is connected right to your spiritual guidance. It's nothing but a mirrored aspect. But if it's a service, you could be like working at a job. Like today, if I was working, I'd be serving people in that type of form of a way. It's a service other than a duty like what I'm doing at the moment, if that makes sense. It's about your values, for sure. But it's in the oneness, house of marriage, 7th house. It's oneness, the law of oneness. And it's halfway. And here it goes. Intelligence, distance, romance, and spouse. It's the intelligence part. It's eternal guidance, for sure. And there it goes again. Your values. It's your values. And this, I just had this in my hand. It's communication. And it's in the 12th house. 12th house is 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 And it should be a good time to get you some wind chimes. For sure, for sure. Speaking of airwaveably, it'll let you know when your guidance is really close. For sure. So make sure you get you some wind chimes. I want to flip through Dreaming of Gaia Tarot also. It's a water-based aspect, which is in all of us, so you should be able to resonate with it. And then I think I'm going to finish off with that. And already, write the story of your life. That way, when you look back at a moment in time, you have a written account of that moment. Writing it down. That's so funny. Who is this? Who are you? Oh, it's the Eight of Earth. Here and after is the affinity aspect. I got a lot highlighted on here too. Ego does not always tell the truth. Admit that you made a mistake. Hand in hand, instincts, ego. What we want to believe is in conflict with a fact. And that's so intriguing. This ego aspect keep coming out. I think this is the second time this aspect came out. It's a lacking aspect. People only normally lie when they're lacking or they're afraid of something, which means they're lacking in some aspect. You're afraid of something, you're afraid of losing something, not being accepted or something like that. It's a lacking mindset. I'm going to keep going. It is probably definitely dealing with what we want to believe is in conflict with a fact. It's the mental health aspect, receiving. Sometimes a lot of people, even believers, they have a hard time believing something is there. They pray to spiritual guidance, but when they see people displaying spiritual guidance, they get afraid. All of a sudden, that got to be the devil or something wicked. But it's like, who you be praying to? You know, what do you believe in? Like, what is eternal to you? What do spiritual mean to you? You know, uh, they know and understand the potential consequences of their choices to continue, but refuse to consider them or choose to ignore them, responding in a defensive manner. I aggression. Why has aggression on the menu? Probably being misunderstood. Then it goes right back to again, write the story of your life. That way, when you look back at a moment in time, you have a written account of the moment. Ah, perception. Don't fly away, be still, please. We have perception, understanding, view. Senses tell you, and that's just what I mean. That's so funny. Your senses tell you. Represent yourself honestly. Represent yourself honestly. It's that ego. Go right back to the Eight of Earth. You have to stay true in your faith. This feel like a Peter behavior could start happening. Like you will deny something because you're afraid of losing something. But if you stay true in your faith, you're going to keep selling, if that makes sense. It's meant. It's something I talk about sometimes as into if something don't end, the universe always knows when there's delays and things like that. You can never trick the universe or, cheat death or things like that. If something didn't end, it's because you weren't honest. Something has to end for you to move forward, if that makes sense. And if you don't move forward, it's because you weren't honest. It's one of those type of energies. Definitely if you are scared of losing something, it's meant for that to fall off. Those weeds are meant to get cut. But it may not be about losing something. It's just that's an example of this energy. Represent yourself honestly is important. Anything else in this one? Perception increases awareness. That's what it is. Your perception, whatever you're projecting or saying is important. It's bringing awareness, and which helps things move forward. But if you don't, You're not operating like the lighthouse you're supposed to. It's a delay. Is there any more highlighted in this one? We are the book. Only you know the full story. That's funny. Only we are the book. Which I did say, I don't get everybody this book because I realize this really is my life. It's intriguing. Only you know the full story. I feel like that's deep. We're gonna keep going. Then illusion is right there. All right, one more. Air. Hi, air. Nice. What you got for us? The Ace of Air. And ain't nothing highlighted on here. This is all new. This is all new. That's funny. New ideas, personal truths, individuation, motivation, choices, and belief. Unlearn and let go. Fact and genuine knowledge. Fact and genuine knowledge. Honor your personal truths. Know your mind. Be excited and motivated. I feel like my nose is going. Give me a minute. I gotta dab my little self really quick. That made me so happy because that's the aspect that I'm actually working on at the moment. And it's funny because it is the Ace of Earth. That's the best of the best. That's the best of the best. I mean, you're dealing with the Ascendant Masters. That's great. The best of the best. I normally deal with Ancestor Energy and Ascendant Masters. And this is the Ace, so it's the Ascendant Masters for sure. Ascendant Masters. Are old beliefs sabotaging your goals? Are old beliefs sabotaging future goals? That seemed to be really important. Even the question that I asked as into what does Black history mean to me? And as I said, it reminds me, every time I think of Black history, I always think of poverty and slavery, honestly. And I know there's a lot of great aspects that people of a darker complexion have done. It's just history don't acknowledge it like that. And they asking me, what do Black history mean to me? What history told me? Slavery, poverty, maybe that could be sabotaging me because I'm only thinking about, I don't know, I'm just gonna leave that as what I said. It's just, it did come out, and that's making me think about what I just spoke about. It was brought to my attention. And I wish I actually had my highlighter, but I guess I'm gonna have to get back to that another time. Um, is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else at the moment. So that's been the energy. Enjoy the rest of your day, self.